my name is Lindy Sherries and I used to be a Sangoma. In this channel, I talk about everything, guys. Abokorobela, the secrets that we were taught not to share with you guys, how we used to trick you guys, the spirits, how everything works when you go to a Sangoma for consultation, Yamatambo. So whether you believe in God or don't believe in God, please check out this channel so we can talk about it. If you believe in God, let's share the gospel. If you don't believe in God, you can check out the channel too. I want to hear your opinion, and I want people to actually share their opinion, not insulting me without saying why. Thank you, and I'll see you on my channel.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel. My name is Solomon Nizangi Shams, and it's so good to be with you. Hope you're having a great day and hope you had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Let us know where you're watching from. Share some of the stuff you experienced today in church. My church today, we're actually talking about the fact that we all need to be messengers of hope, that we need to look for opportunities to reach out to other people, to minister to other people. And at the end of it all, we took time to pray together. Just so anytime we see an opportunity out there for us to minister, to pray for someone, to stand with someone, to tell someone about Jesus, you know, we would take that step and do that. So thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate each and every one of you. One Media is from Accra. Good to have you here. Good to have you here. Good to have you, Cedric. Awesome, powerful message today about the power of the blood. Awesome to have you here. Jean-Marie from Antigua. Brenda, good to have you here. Bus from Nottingham in the UK. Alice from Welcome here in South Africa. Tato from Hackney in London. Miriam, good to have you here. Nontabeko Zawona in Jani. Good to have you, Deborah from New Jersey. Good to have each and every one of you. There is Plensa from Minnesota. So, guys, I want to talk about my analysis of the whole issue about from Jeremiah Omoto to Ruth to baby testimony. The whole thing, right? I want to give you my view about that. I feel this is actually what happened. So this is not a conspiracy theory, like some people are saying conspiracy theory, because they feel like Prof X is saying he gave a conspiracy theory because he feels like the wall is closing down on him. So he brought a conspiracy theory. No, I'm an investigative journalist, and I will give you my assessment of this situation. That's what I'm going to give you. A lot has been said about baby testimony. Baby testimony was kidnapped, missing, allegedly by all fingers are pointing at Jeremiah Omoto. Right? And the stories keep changing. No, he was kidnapped. She was taken by some woman. No, he wasn't taken by some woman. And the whole thing in itself, the inconsistency in Ruth's story, the inconsistency in Prof X story, the inconsistency in the story of even Ruth's older baby. May I put it to you that Ruth was actually not married in any way to the father of her kids. Because if the father of the kid is somewhere out there, he will come out and fight for it. When she took this issue to Abuja, Nigeria, to speak to a human rights media person called Berekete, he after hearing her, he was trying to help out, and the inconsistency of her story made him to just throw away the story and move on because her story has been inconsistent. I would like to put it to you also that Ruth, at one point, asked Doris to take one of her child. That's Chioma. I have the audio. So it seems like Ruth is in the business of giving away children. Maybe because it's too burdensome for her. Maybe because she needs to move on with life. Now, Jeremiah Omoto has made some statements. One of the statements he made about baby testimony was the fact that baby testimony, he said, the baby testimony resembles him. Then this is something I've previously said. I think Prof X and his cronies, they're beginning to see where I'm taking this whole thing to. So now they want to jump ahead. I'm here to tell you that based on my own analysis, personal analysis, right? I don't have the final piece of evidence yet, but I'm sure we're going to get that final piece of evidence. I put it to you that Jeremiah Omoto is the father of baby testimony. Now, the question there is, was it adopted or biological? Ruth knows that the baby is with Jeremiah Omoto. And my analysis is there was a transaction. There was a transaction between the two of them. Remember, Ruth was very familiar to some certain level with Jeremiah Omoto even before she came out publicly. So I feel that there was a transaction, a financial transaction between them. Now, this is a financial transaction gone wrong. Maybe it was actually he's a biological father. Or maybe he told her that was a deal where I want to have this baby, and she negotiated and gave it away. But Ruth, because Ruth is not telling us the truth, she knows where that baby is. But she cannot say because she knew that she had a transaction, an agreement before that. Transaction gone wrong, or maybe she became greedy and wants to have more money. She met people like Prof X and like, no, don't worry. The 10 million he paid you, no, he has to pay you 100 million, because people like Prof X, who's a cyber criminal and a fraud, what they do is once they ask you to pay a ransom or to pay some money, they keep coming back. They keep coming back until they milk you. The same thing J. Israel did with Bishop Isaac Idahosa regarding Prof X arrest. Have you been to J. Israel's page yesterday? Someone actually did a screenshot and sent it to me because J. Israel blocked me on his page, on his Facebook page. So I cannot have access to it. And behold, him and Prof X are now fighting. He's accusing Prof X of running ugly truth. Now, this is something that I said about 3 years ago. I told him, you and Prof X are running ugly truth. So now he's pushing everything to Prof X. So I think there is a financial problem between them because those guys, they're cyber criminals. That's what they do. And to support my story, like I told you about Prof X and his history, how he came to South Africa from Zimbabwe, is right there in J. Israel's statement where he said he brought Prof X to Zimbabwe. Sorry, to South Africa, from Zimbabwe to South Africa. He was the one who brought him to South. He's responsible for his travels and relocation here. Those guys are gay lovers. So why do we have to be bothered by these criminals about a baby who they know where the baby is? Look at the similarities. Are there similarities or not? Look at the nose. I hope you can also understand the skin color, the depth of the tone of the skin color. Look at the eye. Indeed, it seems like there's a similarities between them. And just to put it to you, I spoke to a midwife who is in the business of delivering babies. She has delivered hundreds and hundreds of babies. She said, no doubt, whenever I deliver a baby, I know when a baby looks like the mother or looks like the father. It is clear. And that's one of the evidences that I'll put before you. A midwife who had followed this story from the very beginning is totally, utterly convinced that these two share a DNA. Totally convinced. More than myself. Totally convinced. We know that Jeremiah, his wife only gave him daughters. And Ruth, she only has sons. And obviously, as an African man, someone like him, who is also uneducated and lack exposure, he would settle for wanting to have a boy. Is part of the African culture is there. Guys, the truth of the matter is they've used the issue of baby testimony, Ruth, to play a lot of people. They've been lying and lying. It's like lies upon lies. When they're about to get caught up in one of the lies, they change the tone. When they're about to be put in the corner, they change the tone again. In my conclusion, Ruth knows where the baby is. Have you noticed that Prof X is beginning to say that the baby is okay? Now, if you kidnap a baby, on what grounds is he saying the baby is okay? He's trying to say conspiracy theory. Conspiracy theory what? He knows. If a baby was kidnapped, we know the kind of things that happen in Nigeria. If a baby is kidnapped, you yourself, you know what the baby is going to be used for. This is not going to be some adoption or some child labor that they're going to put the baby. No. They're going to go through some ritual with the baby. A lot of times. 9 out of 10, actually. Who would want to take a baby that you cannot? You're trying to feed yourself, but you don't. Now he's coming to say the baby is safe and all that. They know where the baby is. They must tell us themselves. They must take ownership, but they cannot because that is not good for business. This whole story is a collaboration. This whole lies and changing stories is a collaboration between Prof X and Ruth. They know that. That's why he's been driving it every day. Don't worry, we're going to put pressure on him through the videos that we create, and he's going to give us the millions. And you see, at the end of the day, it will be difficult for us to finally get a closure on where and what happened to baby testimony. Because Ruth and her cliques cannot come out and take responsibility to say, look, anyway, matter of fact is, this is actually what happened. There was a transaction. Because I believe there was a transaction between Ruth and Jeremiah. There was a financial transaction. Agreed. Then maybe a few people found out. Agreed? I pay you, you give me a baby. Either you come, remember he used to keep them in a guest house or the hotel or whatever. You can imagine what happened there. Give me a baby. And you look at the time, it's like, look, hey, this woman has produced 3 boys. So chances are the next one is going to be a boy. There was a transaction. But then I feel they got greedy. I feel they got greedy. They wanted more. Especially when they met the con man. What's his name? Hey, my son. Especially when they met the con man, Prof X. They know what happened to the baby. The story they've sold to people for the last how many months is not true. It's not. They know where the baby is. And listen and watch. Very soon they're going to begin to bring a bit of information here and there about the baby. Drop this about the baby and say he has started dropping it now by saying this is he has a conspiracy theory. Then he believes the baby is well and okay. Of course, the baby is well and okay. He's with Jeremiah Omoto, for crying out loud. This is a millionaire. Of course, Jeremiah is treating the baby like his own baby because that was a transaction, because he's his own baby. It's his flesh and blood. So please stop with the lies and come clean. We would forgive you. Tell us what happened. We can bring this to closure and stop even accusing Jeremiah Omoto for what he didn't do. If you ask me, did Jeremiah Omoto kidnap this baby? No. No. There was a transaction. And we're probably going to be very sure that the baby isn't even in Nigeria right now. She changed her mind, got a baby for Jeremiah, maybe slept with him, got a baby for him. Now she thought, this is my ticket out of poverty to be rich. Jeremiah said, no. The deal was you get a baby from me, I pay you, and I keep the baby. Nothing to do with you. You're not the mother of the baby anymore. I'm going to raise him. Wasn't happy about it. She wanted more money. People, enough is enough with all this twists and turning and all this soapy. Tinashe is a serial liar, a serial manipulator. He feels he can lie to many people. When people tell me what he said, or when I see his video, and I don't watch his video, I just see it and because I know from start to finish it's a lie. So why do I have to? I cannot even watch a minute of it. He feels he can influence people and decide whatever. Let's push people towards this way. Let's just tell people this is it. People will believe me. They agree with me. That's what Tinashe is. It's all about. Prof X, that is. So please, you must go to his Facebook page or YouTube or whatever. Tell us yourself. We know where the baby is. We know the baby is with Jeremiah, but we want you to tell us yourself, because you've been lying to us. Ruth must tell us herself. And stop dilly-dallying and stop changing the tone and stop changing everything. Prof X is coming and making a video and saying it's a conspiracy theory and saying that the baby is okay and all that.
But it's the same thing that Jeremiah had said in one of his prophecies, that he knows that baby testimony is fine and the baby will show up very soon. But it never happened. So he's just repeating what
what Jeremiah said. Because they know they're singing from the same hymn book. Both camps know where the baby is right now. There's no case of kidnapping. Guys, Prof X is a psycho. He's a narcissist. He's mentally not okay. For you to get to this level of lying upon lying upon lying upon scamming, all you do is sit down and scam and lie. You see, we as human beings, no matter how terrible you are, you're not created to function in a life where you lie and lie and lie. You're going to be dysfunctional because that's not the way the maker made you. Anyway, people, I leave you with that. Again, my final analysis is the baby, Jeremiah, is the father of the baby. And the baby is in the custody of the father. And the mother knows that the baby is with the father. But she cannot say it because there was a transaction. And she took up with a story that she cannot change right now. But I hope and pray that she changes it and come clean. Just so all of this could be settled. If not, that baby is gone and we would or may never hear about the baby. And for Tinashi, Prof X, guys, we see his lies true and true. We know his lies. It's there. We're tired of his lies. Don't give him your time anymore. Because you cannot say, look at the resemblance. Like I said, I spoke to a midwife. In the UK, that's been following this story, a Nigerian in the UK. She has delivered hundreds of babies. She said, look, I see a baby right from birth. You see as a midwife, because you've seen it over and over, you see the similarities and the look-alike between the father and the child, or the mother and the child is there. And she is totally convinced that Jeremiah is the biological father of baby testimony. There's a lot of lies. Ruth is a liar, pathetic liar, back-to-back liar. Guys, that's the story. Stay on that. That Jeremiah is in the custody, the baby is in the custody of Jeremiah. That's what it is. Whatever Prof X is going to say, all you will be trying to do is just to change the story. They know he's the father. Look at them. Look at this skin tone. Look at the nose. See the lips? Enough is enough with this whole lies. She'll come out and say things and all that. No. They're lying. Prof X will come out and say stuff and all that. No, they are lying because they are liars that are looking for money. They're looking to extort, trying to blackmail the father of the baby testimony, which is Jeremiah. Jeremiah, ladies and gentlemen, is the father of baby testimony. Thank you so much. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.